sorry I'm late. Got my new do. My hair reached the totally unacceptable bonkers point. This is my hunkered down hair. And so I thought this little cute pink wig would be kind of cute. I'm thinking about getting a couple of other ones so that I can have, some variety and make my time that I am isolating more fun. I gotta tell you, I'm happy to be with you tonight because we have power. We didn't lose power during the storm, and I didn't think we got as much snow as we got until I went out to get the mail. And let me tell you, I would say probably I walked through 14 inches of snow. Porch wasn't bad because it was blowing and blowing, and when I went outside, I saw that my car had, it had just blown off of the car, so that's not going to be a big hassle to clean up. Yay, but I don't go anywhere, so, but I've got to get out there and start it so it doesn't happen what happened last time, which is what it totally wouldn't start. So, there. Oh, I was exhausted by the time I came back from getting the mail. I mean, I've got to walk across the front of the campground by the office and down the little ways to the mailbox and then turn around and trudge back. Good thing I do jazzercise, or I probably never would have been able to make it. I'd still be out there trudging along. Well, that said, it's time to do our Rise of the False Gods book study tonight. And we are on the chapter, and I already know, tell you right up front, we're not going to finish it tonight. We'll have to finish it tomorrow, but it's going to be good. It's going to be good. I don't think it's going to be as annoying as some of the past nights have been. It's not going to be quite as pointed. It's going to have, I think, a lot more hope and good ideas. So let's go along for the ride. Okay. It's called Where There Is No Vision, and if you're following along in the book, it is on page 133. Boy, we are making progress. I already decided, by the way, based on some of the things people have shared with me, I think I'm going to continue after this book's done. I'll just do a regular book study. I don't know that it'll be every night, especially when camping season comes, and Lord willing, we will have camping season this year, and hopefully, cross all the fingers, we will have it maybe with less restriction than we had to. Don't know. All I know is I want that flippin' bug gone. So, but I am chilly. I got my cuddly blankie on my lap because it's a little bit cold in here. It's the wind, All right, back to Where There Is No Vision. Several times, in the Bible, it talks to us about sight and vision. Excuse me. I believe this is one of the most important things we have as a guide today. From Proverbs 29:18, where there is no vision, the people perish. But he that keepeth the law, happy is he. Why? Because eventually it will all work out. We just have to keep practicing the principle, and the principles will work. It works if we work it. From Jeremiah 5:21, hear now this, O foolish people, and without understanding, which have eyes and see not, which have ears and hear not. I think that's one of the frustrations we've been feeling lately, is that we can't imagine how people can ignore or avoid the truth. So, and then we have from Habakkuk 2:2, write this vision, make it plain upon tablets, so he may run who reads it. So we take these truth principles and we run to our future. And we are afraid of nothing because we know in the end, if you work the principles will work. Under the influence of false gods, what are the false gods? They are thoughts. They are concepts. They are not beings. They are states of consciousness. One is mammon, which is materialism, and the other is Baal, which is ego, carnality, the flesh. Okay? So that is thinking we have false God. That's the real core, the meaning of false gods is false good. We think things are good that aren't so good for us actually. So, under the influence of false gods, our eyes may see only gloom and adversity. For all rights and purposes, life on planet Earth is in grave peril right now. It just is. That's not, that's just the way it is. Many crises surround us. Nuclear war threatens us because of decisions made by a few people in power. Millions more face danger of losing health insurance and prescription drug coverage. The planet is being ravaged and buried in the waste of rampant consumerism. Now, I want to interject here. There's nothing wrong with consumerism if we can make that consumerism the same way God made everything, which is circulating, that things, we have what we need to create all the biodegradable products and everything. We'll get there in a little bit. We're in the dire risk of extreme global warming to the extent many regions will become uninhabitable. In America today, truth and integrity have taken a back seat to lies and deception. I wrote that years ago, well, 3 or 4 years ago. But can you imagine it? How much worse it's gotten? Don't get all discouraged. We're moving forward. A lot of people, the big issue is the false gods, which are materialism and ego, put self first. When we are under the influence, which is the inflowing energy of our lower consciousness, we can be selfish, we can put ourselves first, me, my, mine, instead of we, our, ours, okay? Because that's what it's really about. It's about sharing. It's about sharing the planet. I want to interject something here, which is not really in the topic of the book. Big surprise that I'm going off topic. But it is. And that is the talk that we're all hearing right now about the checks that that people are hoping to get because of and they are not stimulus checks, they are survival checks. Some of us have jobs and have food on the table and have a roof over our head, even if we live with someone else who is providing that roof for us. What I want to say about these payments, should you get one, and you are not in dire need like so many people are, I so encourage you to share what you have with others. Think of Feeding America and other programs that help people to be warm and safe and have food in their stomach. The food banks are having a terrible time trying to keep up because of the COVID virus itself and the impact it's had on our citizens. All citizens, people who never thought they'd be in a food line are now in a food line. And this is a disgrace. But we can take care of this. We can help. Each one of us, let each one reach one. And if you can reach more than one, that's called thinking out of the box. If we have extra, we want to circulate that extra. When you know principle, you know it's going to come back to you. See, who can I help? Don't think about what you're going to get for it, 100-fold. No, don't think about that. Think about the joy, the gift of sharing. And at Christmas, what better time? So should something come to you and you are not in need, think of how much of it you can share and save someone else. Body, mind, soul. Okay, back to the path. As our sensitivity and sensibility plummet with bad news day after day, sometimes hour after hour, we have to expand our vision from what we see with our human eyes to perceive with our human understanding and hear with our human ears to a bigger picture. We need to look at the what as we discern the why and the how. If everything around us is an effect of the working of spiritual principle, we will find answers when we widen our scope of vision to solve the problem. You know what we call that? Out of the box thinking. Let's think out of the box of limitation. I want to share a couple of stories I heard about people who are doing just that. I heard about a school on the news the other day, and the school, someone in the school created a store for the kids, and it is like it's kind of like a soup kitchen idea, but they don't go, not soup kitchen, food bank, but they don't go in and buy or pick up the stuff. What they do is they get like credits for doing good deeds, for getting good grades, for positive things. They get these credits. Then they take them to the store and they use them to buy things they need. What did they used to say? It's not a handout, it's a hand up. Okay. Now this one, your kids are going to gripe about. But that is just a mindset of entitlement that people got. So, I think it's Japan, I think it's probably Japan or South Korea, where the kids in the school do the janitorial tasks. They mop the floors, they dust, they do, not maintenance because they probably aren't skilled to do that, but they do anything that is unskilled. They do the work of the janitorial staff, cutting down that expense and making for a better education and a disciplined child with a good work ethic. Now, you have to understand, when kids used to get the summer off from school, it wasn't to play, it was to help out on the farm, to bring in the food that would take the family through the winter. So it's not meant as vacation. Yes, we're all entitled to a vacation, but kids get rusty when they're out of school that long. And most of them sit around today and, they're more likely. And I love our kids. To me, it is taking away an opportunity if we don't find ways to help them develop a work ethic. I thought that was great. You see how it's out of the box? We must stop thinking we are stuck in a box. That is one blessing that I got, believe me, like all of us, I got a lot of blessings, when I was born. But one of them is like trying to find a way to fix something, to make something work, to create a better way of doing it. One of the things I thought about doing one time, you'll never see me doing this, but one of the things I thought about was being an efficiency expert, because I always like to look at a better way to do things. I was that way as a kid. It's a gift. It's not, the reason I'm glad I have this camera is it only has this area, which is nice and neat. So when I say efficiency expert, I don't mean like my house is spotless and stuff like that, okay? I live my life. Okay, moving on. We are absolutely in a crisis. It's difficult to be positive in what I call the new dark age. It's the shadow that we live in of everything that is, okay, I'm going to say something that's going to upset you. Try not to let this upset you, okay? Just take a breath, and then I'll go to the glossary and read the definition. To me, we are like in the shadow of Antichrist. And why do I say that? No, not some big spooky religious thing. I say it because the attitudes and the thought processes of people today are very much unlike everything good that we call Christ. So hang on, I'm going to go to the glossary. This is such a good book. There's good exercises in the back. Okay, all right. This is what unity defines as Antichrist. That which opposed to Christ and the works of Christ. It's a state of consciousness. It denies that the Christ dwells in and is the true self of every individual. Antichrist tries to delude people into belief that this world is the only reality and that death is the way of life. Jesus came to deliver man from death through a teaching that leads to eternal life. Antichrist thoughts must be persistently denied because they are not truth. They are what this world, our lower consciousness, individually and collectively, would have us believe. All right, moving on. Okay, we are in crisis, yet every crisis contains both danger and opportunity. The thought of changing this mess may seem overwhelming, but it's not. The activity of principle, unnoticed by us, manifested everything around us. So we strive to be conscious so we don't manifest things we don't want around us through our limited lower thinking, our human ways of thinking. Conscious application of the same principles that cause the negative stuff can change into good stuff. How? Through the creative process. We're going to talk about that later, but for now, just know that we have the ability, and by the end of this chapter you'll know more about it, to change things by right of consciousness. In Unity we teach life is consciousness. Here's a little kind of a way to look at it. Imagine you want to build a birdhouse. It would seem logical that you would get the wood, cut the pieces, nail them together, and voila, a birdhouse. But it doesn't happen that way. Did you notice something was missing when I was saying what you were doing? Did you notice there was no blueprint, no plan, no vision of the desired result? Our vision needs to be full and complete, and considering that there will be along the way flaws and corrections to be made. But just because you have to make a correction doesn't mean that your birdhouse cannot be corrected and made perfect. You know, in Unity, we have a very huge unconventional thought process, which is that we are all meant to express perfect health, and that we express perfect health through right of consciousness. Well, how then can it be that some of our friends are in the hospital suffering with COVID? One of them died last week, and it saddened our whole movement very greatly. But it doesn't mean that it's never possible. It means we're not there yet. So, can we hold the paradoxical thought that ultimately it is possible? We're just not there yet. And we're not going to wake up there. We're going to work our way there by right thinking, right feeling, and right action. Okay. Okay. Imagine, oh, we did that birdhouse thing, blah, blah, blah. Okay. To get the birdhouse you want, you need a vision, and with a group, a shared vision, and we need a plan. And we need plan B if plan A messes up, and we need to know that there may be challenges, but our thinking is so far beyond that. Okay? The same thing is true for all of us. The vision must be big enough to consider all factors and implications. And in order to have a bigger vision, we also need to have a bigger believing. You cannot serve two masters. You cannot serve negativity and positivity at the same time. We can accept the fact that we are in very negative circumstances as we strive to move forward, working with the unexpected challenges. A challenge is just another step to go up. In a family, a community, a country, or a world community, there are many types of people, personalities, lifestyles, socioeconomic levels, and other factors to consider. A world that works must respect and protect all inhabitants, including all creatures and our natural resources. We are a part of an ecosystem, a biosphere, spinning through an immeasurable universe. As much as our egos would like to see us as independent, we are inseparable and interdependent. We depend on each other, not because we are flawed, but because together we are expressing our ultimate oneness. That doesn't mean, like one country, we're America, we're the best. No, we are one country, a part of a greater whole. And think about the things we enjoy from other countries. Think about the French wines and the cheeses from Denmark and all the stuff that we love that come from different countries. Think of the ways that we can work together to protect ourselves and each other. These are all possibilities. But they're not going to happen if you're daydreaming, gazing out the window. Remember that saying, the longest journey begins with the first step. Let's take a first step and a new step every day. We want to have consumerism. I don't like consumerism. I don't like that term. So we like to have a system. Why does every system have a name? Let's just look at the example God provided. Everything in the earth goes through life cycles. like, let's say, hay, okay? Hay grows in the field. It is harvested, it's used, it has seed, it casts the seed, it dies out when that life is over, and then it breaks down, it decomposes, becomes a part of the earth, fertilizes the earth, and is back in the spring. What if we looked at it that way? Did I tell you yesterday about the whole pen thing? I ran out of ink with my pen, so I had to find another pen. And I started to think about the pile. How many pens do you go through a year? Think about that pile of pens. Why don't we go back to just putting a new ink cartridge into our pens? Why do we have to have everything disposable? Right? We had Girls' Weekend here we have it every year. 2 years ago. Now, this past year, we had to be very careful because it was COVID, but we did not let COVID stop us from enjoying our wonderful Girls' Weekend. But the year before, oh my stars, we had a huge Girls' Weekend at the campground. It was called Magical, and it was fun, and we had people dressed like witches and Mary Poppins, all kinds of fun stuff, and we have a big dinner, which we always have. Oh, and don't you hate it when you have a big dinner and you've got to have tableware and dishes and bowls and cups? And you know what? Everything we got was biodegradable. That includes the fork knives made like from a cornstarch product. Yes, these are possible. So many people are saying, we got to keep producing coal because we need coal. Oh, it's trashing the environment and it's choking everybody with smoke. Those people can get new jobs. Get out of the freaking box, folks. It's a coffin. Got it? Get out of that box. Live. Look, become a possibility thinker. What are the possibilities? We are flippin' geniuses that only use 12% of our brain. How about we expand some of that? It'll be fun. It's so much fun to create, and you can do it. Back on path. Okay. Whether we're building a birdhouse, a relationship, or a government, behind it is an idea. Everything that has ever come to be had its origin in divine mind, in the mind of God. Our mind is our connecting link with God. So we receive ideas through that connection. We attract ideas through a need or desire. Now that's where I'm leaving off tonight here, but I want to go over a couple other points that I jotted down. Cheryl asked, why have all that brain if we don't use it? You got that right. Maybe it's like, let's see, atrophied, but the actual brain's not atrophied. It's just the believing maybe that we can do more. If you want to see a really good movie, look it up, Defending Your Life. One of the guys in there talks about like they use their big brain and we use our little brain, but it's very funny. Okay. You want to become a possibility thinker. If something says that's not working, ask yourself, can it work another way? Can there be another way? Back to Girls' Weekend with the biodegradable plates and silverware and everything. That worked. But you know what else would have worked? Let's say we just said, oh, we really can't afford that. We would really like to do it, but we really. So our previous thought before we found affordable biodegradable tableware, we thought everyone could bring their own table service. I've done that at big church parties. We tell people to bring your very best china. Why not? You never use it anyway. Get out the good stuff. Bring it. And they would bring that and, like a bag to put it in when they were done and take it home and wash it. We are limited. Unlimited. Okay. So, every time somebody says it can't be done, somebody else is already doing it. Ask yourself, how can I do this? If you hear there's no way, sniff around. You may find a way. Okay, so that brings today's book study to a conclusion. I hope you come back tomorrow for the finish of this, but I'm going to put myself out on the limb for the moment. I'm going to sing you a song. And I hope you get that song stuck in your head. May I plant an earworm in your head that will take you through. If you're a Unity person, you know this song. I wish somebody else could sing it for me, but I'm here by me, and Tish can't verbalize. Okay. It's called I Am Free, I Am Unlimited. And it goes like this. God help me. I am free, I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited. Right now, right now. I am free, I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited. Right now, right now. So are you. Have a good rest of your night. Hope your ears are okay. Bye-bye.